Big Z Reviews. Wolfman is a new horror film that's from Blumhouse. That's again a take on the old classic monster movies, directed and written by Leigh Whannell, and it's really bad, unfortunately.
Hello? Can anyone hear me? Hello? We were in an accident.
Daddy, are we gonna die?
No, it's my job to protect you.
And we were attacked. I think my husband was infected.
So when I first saw that Leigh Whannell was doing the Wolfman, I was really excited for him. I love him. He is really interesting and creative director and writer. The original Saw movie was revolutionary, and then I absolutely loved Upgrade and The Invisible Man, and seeing him do this, yeah, I was like, hell yeah. But then I think he had some people, and then the actors, some of them left, and then it was kind of it seemed like it was a year or two. I think it was kind of during the pandemic and stuff. Seemed like it might not get made, but then eventually it did get made. But I mean, it's just so much is bad about it. It really sucks. It really sucks. The movie itself sucks, but also just the fact that this is the movie we got sucks. Because, I mean, I would love a good werewolf movie. And I think that it started off before the movie started. When, back when, there was in Las Vegas or something, there was, a premiere, a Wolfman special thing. And they had this guy in a Wolfman costume. Everyone was like, is that what he's going to look like in the movie? And everyone's like, oh, no, don't worry, that's just an early concept. That's not what. And Leigh Whannell was upset that they did that to him. And then I watched the movie, and that is better than what we got. I think I will have to go into full spoilers later, but before that, this is not a werewolf movie. This is a body horror zombie flick. I really think this is a zombie flick. This is the only werewolf when he starts transforming, he loses hair. It's like radiation sickness or something. He's been poisoned. He loses hair. And the big transformation scene, most of the movie is a transformation scene, but the big where he goes full werewolf, it's just, you see his legs go a little weirder, more like a dog leg, and he goes ooh. He has a long jaw, and then he has a little bit of back hair. that's the werewolf. Literally, I played football with an offensive lineman that was Greek, and he had way more back hair than the werewolf. And I think too, the acting is really bad, mainly from Christopher Abbott. And Julia Garner is his wife, and she's okay, and Matilda Firth is their kid, and she's okay. But the writing too is incredibly bad. The dialogue in the beginning is just pitiful. It's such a basic story too. It's a basic hey, your relative died and he left you his house. You have to go clean it up. Okay. And it's his dad that's been missing for a while and has finally been declared dead. But even that is completely broken by what the film shows us. The introduction scene is him as a kid hunting with his dad, and there's a werewolf then. This is 20 or 30 years ago, and the dad doesn't die until relatively recently. But so has he been fighting this werewolf for 20 years? It doesn't make sense. And then when they get to the house, the werewolf immediately attacks, and it's did anyone go to this guy's house? If they had went to his house, they would have been attacked by a werewolf. None of it makes sense. And it's even weirder because like when they get there, there's like he gets a little lost, and the neighbor is in this overlook or whatever it's called, like the hunting thing, like a hunting little booth thing, and he has a gun, and he's like, oh yeah, I knew you're my neighbor from when I was a kid, and like he does the whole warning of them is like, there's animals and sickness in the woods. We don't go out after dark. And like, I was like, okay, cool. Like maybe setting up that this guy is a werewolf too. This could be fun. And then like, it's dark, and like I noticed that. It's like it's nighttime. He doesn't seem to be worried. He's just weirdly talking like about the girl, the kid, and the wife being sexy. Like he's making some weird comments, but he's not worried about the werewolf that he seems to know is out here. And then like the dad werewolf is in the road, and they crash the car, and then this random guy is immediately killed, and he's infected. He's scratched on his arm, and it's like now the movie's over essentially, because that's, I think, the other worst part of this film is that the dialogue sucks in the beginning, but then the second 2/3 of the film, there is zero dialogue, because like the very first thing is he becomes mute, and it's like it makes it, if you have a body horror film, part of the body horror is expressing it, especially if you have family around you and talking to him. The only thing he can't talk, the only thing he does, he gives him a notepad, and he just writes, dying. Like, maybe you want to be a little bit more descriptive, Wolfman. Like, and it's just, but the thing is, the weird thing is, there are hints of something really cool in this movie. Like, I just don't know what happened, what broke this film. Because there are moments, like when he's early on in the infection, like, he starts, like, sniffing. And he finds this, like, secret room his dad had where he stored his, like, giant, like, legs he was, like, dry aging, or he's making, like, jerky out of. And then later, and then a little bit later, he sees, like, he hears this, like, giant thumping, and oh, what is that? And he goes upstairs into his random room and into the closet, and it's just this spider. And it's not, if you're arachnophobic, it'd be scary, but it's just like a spider, but it's still, to him, his senses, it's like boom, 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 just walking on the wall. And too, like when you see like a first person viewpoint of him as the Wolfman, it's really cool looking. I've never seen anything quite like it, with like how he's like seeing in the dark. Like, it's awesome. But like every single thing else about the movie is piece of shit. And I wish I knew what happened to this movie. Like, I just don't understand why they would make so many bad decisions. And I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to save it. Again, I mean, the movie would be twice as good if you just made him into a real werewolf. Like, you didn't gain anything by having him be like I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I'll see if I have a good clip of it I can find on YouTube. I'll show it. But it just, he looks like kind of like a zombie, like a slightly hairy zombie with a long jaw. Like, and it's too, like, when he howls, he doesn't howl like a wolf. He howls like Bigfoot, or not like Bigfoot, like, you know, in those Bigfoot hunting shows where they have random weird white people go out into the woods and moan, trying to get a response from Bigfoot. That's what he sounds like, and it's just everything about it. Like, I just don't know what happened, but I've loved this filmmaking. I love his writing. Like, I don't know what happened here, like, especially because like I feel like you have the basics of like the setup without all of the weird, like, I guess they're trying to do like a toxic masculinity, or like the sins of our father. Like, he's always like talking to his daughter, he's talking to his wife, I don't want to scar my daughter like my dad scarred me. But then at the same time, all we saw of him, he was worse to his daughter than his dad was worse to him. When the dad was kind of mean to him, when he was in the middle of hunting, he ran off and almost got eaten by a werewolf. Like, I think he could be a little sharp with you. That's a good reason to be sharp with you. When he's like yelling at his daughter for just being a kid, and then the father and mother, they argue over nothing. Like, they have a shit relationship and it's not explained why. And I don't like, they don't have any time to know who these people are. I see he's like a stay-at-home dad and she's a reporter. But like, when he's talking to this guy, he picks up the show so they can show where the house is. Like, he's like, oh, I'm a writer in between jobs. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, it wasn't very clear before. So a lot of things will let us know that at least now. Like, they have no personality and the acting is bad. But I think the general idea of like his dad fighting a werewolf epidemic in these woods could be super interesting. Like, I think the biggest problem was immediately being scratched by the werewolf, crashing his car right when they get there. I think the movie could have been much more interesting if they got to the house and actually explored it and tried to figure out, what happened to my dad? Like, what happened here? And if there's some weird, like, he figured out, like, maybe even, like, the werewolf is the neighbor and the werewolf isn't his dad. If he finds, you have a murder mystery here. Like, your dad has been missing and declared dead. It doesn't make sense that he's been a werewolf for years and no one's noticed him. And he's been fighting werewolves for decades. Like, that, it's just, the timeline is fucked. And everything about it, you could have, like, it could be so cool if, like, and two, I think the biggest thing with a werewolf is the idea that you transform in the full moon and then you're normal. You're a human for the rest of it. So I feel like it's all this thing that, like, should you kill them? Like, if you just lock them up when they turn into werewolf, because they're still human beings the rest of the time. Like, but because they become this weird, like, thing immediately and they're forever like that, it makes it so that you're just breaking the concept of the werewolf in bad ways. Like, the werewolf, it can be a very interesting character, but instead he just turned it into a Neanderthal with a long jaw and a slightly hairy back. And it's like, and it can't even talk. Like, it's no longer human. It's like, it's closer to a zombie than anything else. And it's like, it's not interesting then. And he's so, and I think too, even without changing anything, if you changed the made it more into a werewolf, and the biggest thing at the end, like, throughout the film, the only dialogue you get with him being nice to his daughter is like, you're a mind reader. What am I thinking? And she's like, that how much you love me. And it's like, okay, sweet moment. But if you include something like, what am I thinking? And then, like, at the end of the film, if he went like, what am I thinking? And then, like, without being able to talk, and then that would be the end of the film. Like, he was still in there, even though he can't control himself, he's still in there and he still loves you, Like, but they don't do anything interesting with this film. It's so bare bones and just bad. And it's really disappointing. It's one of the worst films I've seen in a while. I think it's worse because I was looking forward to it. Like, it's already bad, but then me wanting it to be good makes it even worse. Probably give it like a 2 out of 10. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.